I'm Tyra, like she said, with Where's the Buzz. Nice to meet you.
Pleasure.
So I'm so excited about this show. I'm so excited, that this story is being brought to life. So just tell me a little bit about, the research and the creative process with, developing it into an actual series.
Yes, of course. I mean, I've known this book intimately for decades of my life. And when we were finally given a green light to make the show, the first thing I did was run to Octavia Butler's papers, which are being housed at the Huntington in California. And I spent 2 weeks reading every draft she ever wrote, reading all of her notes, just really trying to get inside the mind of this absolute visionary and one of the greatest sort of creators of our time. And, we really, this was 7 years of development, so we really tried to take our time, think through everything we could. We assembled an amazing team of writers, extraordinary actors who brought their own kind of compassion and interest in the work to work every day. So it was sort of almost like the gift that you want as a creator. You just you send out the beacon and you attract those for like minds, and
I love it. So just tell me a little bit about what was it like on set. I could only imagine just, the intense scenes, the emotional roller coaster.
Yes.
How did you guys all mentally prepare, for filming?
I mean, by the skin of our teeth. I mean, keep in mind we were also shooting during COVID. We were shooting in Atlanta, hot Atlanta, on the farms.
It didn't exist in Atlanta.
It was a lot. We were battling a lot, bugs, ticks, all of the things. So, but there was a real devotion to the work that pulled everyone through it. And when you're working with incredibly talented people, the work is a pleasure. It's really easy. So that's kind of how we did it. We just clung to each other in the heat of the COVID.
Yeah. So I read she felt that this book didn't necessarily stick. So how did you?
Octavia didn't?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
really?
yeah. So how do you think this show is gonna, do her story justice?
Oh my gosh! Well, a lot of the research I did is I wanted to understand why she had to make certain choices that maybe she didn't want to make, and really try to do kind of reparative work. What was the fullness of her vision that context didn't allow her to achieve? Right? She did say she never quite felt like she landed the book, and if this show does anything to help repair that is the greatest gift that I could receive as an artist or try to return to the world, Yeah, it's a lot. I mean, she was a pioneer. Pioneer is the struggle. There was no one doing what she was doing, and we all benefit, especially creators of color. We all benefit from her legacy, from her model, and but I can't imagine trying to make this work in 1977 or whenever she was writing it. It's wild. Yeah.
So to lighten the mood, of course it's about, time traveling and going back and forth. So if you could go back in time, of course not, an intense era,
It's not intense. I just want to understand.
Not a sad,
not a sad era.
Not a era that we had to fight through.
When was that era?
Where would you want to go back to? Is it the 80s, is it the 70s? Which one? None?
Girl, I mean, I was there. I was in the 80s. I don't know. I guess a fun era.
Music culture. Come on.
Okay. I mean, am I invisible? Am I just looking at stuff, or am I actually
just experiencing it?
Okay. I actually get curious in time about the Harlem Renaissance.
Exactly. See,
those parties are wild, but I wouldn't want to stay very long. You know what I mean? That's just me, though.
Gotcha. You gave me the hardest time with this question.
I mean, it's the real. It's something that I obviously thought about a ton. You know what I mean? But listen.
Well, thank you so much for your time. I'm so excited, and I know it's going to do well.
Thank you.